second so that I make sure the streams catch up with us. Double checking that we are live on X. And give me 1 second. Gerhard, how you doing?
Wonderful. I'm having a wonderful, light, crispy Grüner, so no complaints, no complaints.
Things could be worse, you know. It's good because it's after 5 p.m. for both of us, which is not that either of us has ever needed an excuse, I think. Not in our jobs. Lucky us. We are live everywhere. So let's get into it. Gerhard's already got the wine cracked open. I have not. I still have an empty glass. I need to decide what bottle I'm opening, or if I'm opening all of the bottles in front of me.
Of course, all of them. Of course. What a question. Decisions are easy to make.
Okay, hold on. Okay, my husband's going to kill me because on Wednesdays, he always comes home and we're supposed to go to the gym after Wine Wednesday. And I'm always like, I've had a half a bottle of wine. Let's not work out. So I'm going to open these. But first, I'm going to do a little intro so that you guys all get familiar with Gerhard Retter, one of the most fun people in the wine industry, I swear.
Don't believe everything she's telling you.
Well, let's see where this goes. So welcome back, everybody, to another Wine Wednesday. I am your host, Jana, certified wine geek and co-founder of Club dVIN and dVIN Labs. And today I'm joined by Gerhard Retter. Gerhard and I have known each other for a few years now. It goes back to Burgenland at the Kracher Winery in 2021.
It's 21, I think so.
I think it was 21. Yeah. 21 or 22. I think.
Who knows?
We've known each other for a minute, and it's been a pleasure. And so Gerhard has a big energy, serious wine knowledge, but he's really just he's one of my favorite people on wine, just because I find, Gerhard, when you talk about wine, it's not only this like authoritative, real wine knowledge that you bring to the table, but it's also like a friendly, welcoming way to talk about wine. And I think that there's just too much intimidation in the wine scene at a high level. So I really appreciate that you bring it down to earth.
Thank you so much. But I say wine is something serious, but it's nothing sad.
Yes.
It's something that brings joy in the life, okay? And energy and powerness and happiness. Wine makes you feel good, and it's wonderful. You can discuss about wine. You can drink the wine. You can just add it to any food, and wine will bring joy, pleasure, and warm feelings into your life.
On that note, I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine. Okay, Gerhard. So cheers, first of all. Welcome to Wine Wednesday.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you're one of Austria's. Today's theme is Austria, by the way. For anyone who didn't sign up through Luma and is just tuning in on X or on YouTube, today's theme is Austria. And Gerhard is one of, I would say, Germany and Austria's most recognized wine voices. You've got decades of experience, and you've got that unmistakable Austrian wit that I
found.
I mean, okay. When you think about Austria, I don't know, for anyone watching in North America or from anywhere outside of Germany or Austria, you probably don't know how many dialects there are within Austria. And Gerhard, you're from Styria.
I'm from Styria. Believe it or not, my hometown is Weiz, which one is the hometown of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now you can see it, okay?
Now I know.
Yeah, you see it. My sibling.
Obviously. My brother Arnie. Yeah.
No, really horrible.
Do a couple push-ups really quick, and then
just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
100 on us or 200?
I think if you just do a quick 100, then we'll see you back in 5 seconds, and we'll be good.
I can open 100 bottles a minute.
I believe that, actually. That's where Arnold Schwarzenegger falls, like, under. He's not able to do that. He's not able to hold up to that.
No.
But dialects, I can understand you perfectly.
The reason for that is easy, because I've been living longer in Germany than in Austria. But for Austrian dialects, I have to let you know, even if you live like I in eastern part of Austria, Styria or Vienna or Burgenland, you will not be able to understand the people in the western countries of and because they speaking German, they say they speak German, but it's a very special German, very close to what they call Schweizerdeutsch.
Oh,
The Swiss accent, yeah, the Swiss accent
yeah.
is so it's not. We are a tiny country, 9 million people living there. Even 1/3 of the people nearly living in Vienna, in the capital.
Mm.
But the languages and the slangs and dialects we have there, this is huge.
It's a real thing. And I wonder if everyone's just been drinking a lot of wine, or if that's where the kind of, it's a bit of a slur. It's a bit of a slur. I had trouble keeping up, but I
I can
drank a lot.
imagine. I can imagine. Even native-born Germans are sometimes saying what they're saying, because Austria is not only having their own dialect, they use own words, so they have different names for things. Like
Oh,
apricots are not apricot. This is marille.
true.
Yeah, but okay. What do we say on wine? Huh?
Let's talk about wine. But anyways, it was just my experience traveling through the Austrian wine regions was from one sort of wine area to the next. I was amazed at how many different styles of wine there was, but also trying to keep up with the dialects was a big challenge.
And if you think about Austria as a wine country, you just named it. There are, of course, everybody knows what I'm having in my glass, Grüner Veltliner. Okay, widely known, mostly planted, and you find it. The Grüner Veltliner is a true Austrian. Why that? He's able to do everything. Means from the easy, crispy, young drinking, just, well, let me say, cheap wine, going up to very long lasting complex wine. They can age 25, 30 years easily, even longer if the conditions are perfect. And of course, he's able to do sweet wines too. So you have
Yeah.
one grape and the range of wines. You cannot say, I love Grüner. No way. Perhaps it's the same if you say, I don't like Riesling or I like Riesling. But Grüner Veltliner is, well, it's a wide range.
So
But beside that, you will find grapes. Perhaps you never heard the name before, but they're worth to discover. It's very interesting, very exciting things to discover in this tiny country. But okay, will they get us 3 hours at least?
I know. I always have a hard time keeping this kind of within the time constraint. But okay, you touched on something now. I was like, I had this whole plan about, okay, we're gonna do like this and this and this. But first, I want to know. Someone told me the other day, I'd never heard this before, and I want to know from you if it's true. So, I was out to dinner, and there's a pretty well-known wine guy in Dusseldorf, the Wine Terminator. If any of you are following him on
Yes,
Instagram,
of course,
love the
we
Wine
know each other.
Terminator. And I
Yes.
was chatting with him, and he told me that what I really need to do is a tasting of aged Grüner Veltliner
Yes.
against aged white Burgundy,
Yeah.
and that they go like toe to toe.
Yeah, this is, you're right. The outstanding, the complex Grüner Veltliner, like for example, the Smaragd here from Emmy Knoll. Even this is Steinfeder, the young crispy ones. But this is Smaragd, means this is, well, let me say, it's a late harvest but dry one. Very
Like
complex,
full-bodied, the
full
most
body, high in alcohol, complex, everything, structure, spiciness. You can drink this wine now. It's 21 in vintage. Okay, it's possible to drink it now, but you have to store it for at least 10, 15 years. And they are able to go 35, 50 years if you give the time to these wines. But aged Grüner Veltliner and white Burgundies, well, this is a very funny thing to compare, but very often the Grüner Veltliner turns out to be the Morochet.
and this is
Because when they're aged, they change the character. They are no longer on white pepper or these typical flavors for Grüner. They're going towards this complex roundness. You have a little bit also of saltiness coming along. So not easy. But it's worse. But the Austrians, somehow like the Germans, we are the young wine killers. So the new vintage show up. Okay, we're gonna drink it because everybody's interested. How is it? And I always say people are not passionate in us. If you take a blossom, if it's just a little open, They take it or they harvest it. It's the same with the wine. You should store it, decant it, use big glasses, because you're losing, I don't know, one third of the experience or of what is the wine able to give you.
Yeah.
But,
Or you need to buy enough of it that you can, I always say this. I mean, this is obviously a privilege or a luxury, both. If you can buy a case of the wine and taste it at different stages of its maturity, then obviously
two
that's
cases, two cases. The one you're going to drink, the other one to storage
yeah.
till it's peak, and then you're going to sell it. So
Yeah,
the
you're
second,
language.
so the second case also bought for your case.
Exactly. Yeah.
It
Actually,
is really.
there's a lot of people do this. If you can get the allocation, depending on what wine you're talking about.
Yes, this is another thing. You get the allocation. Yeah, where there you have to find a deal that is really reliable, knows you, and if you have a long connecting to them, perhaps they're willing to give you a few bottles of the very rare wines on earth.
Well, okay. So since we're on Gruner still, and we're kind of going in the direction of collecting and tasting wines as they age, and really waiting until a wine has kind of reached maturity to enjoy it, do you think that Gruner has become a smart collector's alternative to something like Burgundy?
Oh, of course, compared to the price, no doubt, for
Mhm.
sure, because the best Gruner will come around 35, 40, 50, perhaps 70, 60 euro. And these are
Yeah.
name producers like Knoll, Frank
Yeah.
Bichler, Hirzberger, Bröndlmeyer, all the big names. You can put on the, let me see, Premier Cru Classé level Austrian side. So the investment in wine for this kind of wines are huge. And for blind tastings, as you mentioned before with Wine Terminator,
Mhm.
these wines are huge. Really.
Yeah.
People will say, okay, it's a Batin Montrachet, it is
Yeah.
from Leflaive or wherever. Say, no, it's a Grüner Veltliner from Wachau.
I love it. This is my favorite. Those are my favorite moments in wine when it's like, I mean, blind tasting. Obviously, I think in order to have a really good time, you have to have tasted a lot of wines at a certain level if you're playing the game. But I will never forget my very first blind tasting, and I was so intimidated. I was working at Weingut am Stein in
Yes.
Franconia, and we were a bunch. It was some wine consultants and some somms and winemakers, and everybody brought a bottle. And I brought a bottle of Cabernet Franc from Niagara in Canada.
Mhm.
And everyone was like, it's a Napa Cab. It's a Napa Cab. And I was like the Canadian at the table, like,
Okay.
I love that.
I have a wonderful story of blind tasting. We had a huge tasting with a huge collector in more than 20 years ago in Moscow, Balchuk, at the Red Square. One of the fantastic hotels they have there. Okay, and it was a huge tasting for aged Bordeaux, of course. And we start always for lunch, and we end the tasting midnight with a little break in between to have a short 5-course set menu with also coming with outstanding wines. And Heinz, the collector, when he offers something blind, but usually you get on his tasting, you having 82, 61, 47 and things, but if he serves something blind, it is something you will perhaps never get in your life a second time. So, and if you serve something blind, everybody on the table need or has to guess and say and explain to him why he believes that it is whatever he guess it is.
Fair.
So people are very often joining us in this tasting circle. They know, okay, if it's something blind, it's not 45, it's more aged. Okay, so they're very brave and say it's 1900 Margot or something like this. But there are some people, they perhaps not that often joining us, and there was one of these people, a German attender. He said, "Oh, that's so full for fruit complexity, and everything is so balanced. It's warm and rich. It must be 18.2, which was the outstanding Bordeaux vintage." Okay. At the end of the day, it turned out it was a magnum bottle of 1870 Lafite. So he failed 112 years in vintage. Yeah. But how often do you have the possibility to have a gap of 112 years? How often are you able to fail? But if you, Jim, you say, no, it's 82, but I mean 1982, but it was 1870.
Oh my God. That's so cool. Okay, what was the wine? Was the wine? I mean, actually, with that guess, then there you go.
Well, of course, the wine was it was really surprisingly young and still
Yeah,
has a palate. Of course, you have this soup, what the French call soupois, means autumn leaf mushrooms coming along, but it
tertiary.
was still a little bit of oxidation coming always along with the wine, but it was still in the palate. Complex, powerful, some fruit showing up, so spices of licorice, a little bit of pepper along with. Still have it here. It's wonderful one.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
See, that's a story. Now
yeah. A story about Austrian wine, starting with Lafite, 1870.
I mean, if you got something like that wrong in the tasting, I don't know. A
Yeah.
Gruner and a Lafitte, I'm not so sure if we're at the same.
Mhm.
Okay.
But Grüner is worse storage, worse aging,
Worth
and
aging.
of course you have to know what kind of Grüner you go for. Because as I mentioned at the very beginning of the story, you have Grüner Veltliner. They need to be drunken within the first 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, but are you talking, so when you're talking about aging a Gruner, is that only on the Smaragd level?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Really, Smaragd, if it comes from Kampgal or Kremstal, which one are neighbor regions of Wachau, but it must be something. The Grüner Veltliner can age very early, but he has the possibility to age very long if the winemaker allows him. Then he has to decide if he's affected by botrytis or not.
Right.
And the botrytis wines are even more complex, powerful, and I think these are wines they need the storage in time. Because the botrytis in a young wine always it's like the German Rieslings. If you have a lot of botrytis, the wines are like Rubens. Everything is too rounded, too foolish, too body heavy. It's really sometimes if you drink it too young, they're a monster.
Yeah.
Like round valley wines, white ones, or
Yeah.
California round wines. Um,
Yeah.
but after 15 years, they change, and then the dead botrytis wines are having a turbo boost.
Uh, what do you have? You have a sweet wine in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm jumping around. Do you want to, probably do you want to do that one at the end?
Austria is huge, so we can jump from one to the other side. Of course, Austria is, I think it's still the source for the most or for the best sweet wines. And they are all more or less suburban because they are not expensive. Really not. It's not like
So,
Sautern or something like this, or the Egon Müller. But
yeah.
you have, for example, here, this is everybody. I think it's the most famous Austrian wine producer, isn't it? Yes, it is.
I would
Alois
say,
Bracher is really widely and
yeah.
worldwide known, of course, for sweet wines. Look at this. This is his Trockenbeerenauslese number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Scheurebe, yeah.
Joyrebe, the grape no one can pronounce.
Yeah, genau. And well, even the vintage of the wine is '05. But look at the back label, it is released this year,
Yeah.
20 years after. And it just scored 100 Parker points a few weeks ago.
And I mean, Kracher, so Gerhard Kracher, Alois was Gerhard's father. I mean, the 100-point scores just keep coming. They just keep coming. It's incredible.
Yes, sweet wines are always very high in scores.
Fruit
So if
tends
you
to
have a
be very well.
Trockenbeerenauslese, I won't say this is 100. It's 100 points. It's only it starts where does it start? 88,
Yeah.
90, 90, 92, something like this. But if you get 100 points, it's really something unique. And these wines are outstanding. Drink on its own, but you can also perfect match it with food because they are
Okay.
not like the German wines. They have of course the acidity in the wine is very good, crispy in one, but it's
Mm.
not like stomach destroying, and it fits fantastic with any caramelized dish with something. Oh, blue cheese, of course. Oh, well,
Mhm.
I love plenty of things. Kaiserschmarrn, for example.
Yes. It's so good. Sorry, like I'm just thinking about our North American listeners who are like, "What is
What is
Kaiserschmarrn?"
Kaiserschmarrn? Yeah. What
It's
is
it's like
Kaiserschmarrn?
a pancake in an omelet form, in a scrambled egg form,
Yeah, I don't
basically.
know. Sweet flapjacks with, I don't know, caramelized, something like this. Yeah.
But it's like a piecey pancake. It's like a pancake in pieces,
Yeah.
and it's delicious. And there's like powdered sugar on it. I don't know if there always is. I'm Canadian,
It is.
so
It is.
I
Raisins, if you so like.
yeah. I'm used to maple syrup on everything like that, but the powdered sugar is great. I will tell you, Kaiserschmarrn, you have to
It
have it.
works with maple syrup, sure.
Yeah,
Also with
I mean,
Kaiserschmarrn. We should do this a Canadian style, huh?
yeah. I think I there's always a place for that in my life. But let's give a little background to Krache, and I mean because we're jumping around, but the wine that you're drinking, or are you drinking the Krache? Are you opening that? Oh my
Of
God,
course.
this is like it is 2005 drinking well right now. We're in Ilmitz, by the way, so this is my first when I mean I've been
Ilmitz, you're
to Austria.
wonderful. You were able to pronounce it perfectly.
Well, I live
Wonderful.
in Germany. I can speak German now. I mean,
But
we're
it's
doing the same.
Ilmitz, Ilmitz is it's on the border to Hungary.
Yeah, and it's
It's
on Lake
Austria, so
Neusiedl. It's absolutely beautiful. A lot of birds. I think Gerhard
yes.
is had it up to here with all the birds, but you got to net the vineyards. But it's beautiful. It's on this really amazing lake. For anyone who doesn't know this wine region in Austria, it's so cool. How long is Lake Neusiedl? It's like it's a long lake.
20, 26, 28 miles.
It's
It
a
is.
very long lake, but the really cool thing about it is you can walk across the whole thing, so it's quite
It
shallow.
is.
It is so special. You can do great biking around the lake. There's amazing wineries like Krache. It's just an amazing place to visit, and it's not far from Vienna. So if you're ever going to Vienna, which is also, by the way, one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen in my life,
And the only city and capital on earth that grows wine.
true, Nussbaum.
Nussbaum, yes, wonderful.
Nussbaum. And it's so fun to just go there and like look down on Vienna and have a glass of wine and a snack. And it's very down to earth, really cool vineyard in the middle of Vienna, which
It's
is
a highly wine addicted city.
gemischter
Really.
Satz.
Gemischter Satz, yes, which is a
Gemischter
field plant, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
field plant, yeah. And well, Vienna, I'm so proud to have Vienna because I always say, even I'm from Austria and Graz, which was the second largest city.
Mhm.
I have to say, I think Vienna is the only city we have. The others are huge villages.
Yeah. I mean,
Salzburg is nice. People are always going to Salzburg because, of course, Mozart and culture and music. But no wine in Salzburg, so no need to go.
so why go there? I mean, you're either going skiing or you're going to Vienna or you got to go to wine regions. No, Austria has so much. Okay. All right. You've got it in the glass. Look at that. Oh my God. Not jealous at all.
It's really, the wine is sweet, but it's still fresh. And I won't say it's crispy, but it's still vibrant on the palate. There's nothing jammy, nothing fat, nothing boring. It is unbelievable how much different flavors come on. You have, of course, caramel coming along with honey. Is there acacia, I would say, is coming along with it. Raisins.
Okay. So for anyone who knows,
gingerbread. Oh my goodness! Wow.
Oh, gingerbread. See that I feel like I'm tasting it with you, except I'm actually drinking a Weissburgunder from Steiermark. But anyway, if you were comparing a German sweet wine, I know we're specifically here with Scheurebe Trockenbeeren Auslese TBA. If we were comparing this wine to a similarly made wine of the same vintage in Germany, what do you think the key differences are? Because you talk about the acidity in Germany being very, I think you said stomach altering or something.
Yeah, of course, sweet wine needs acidity.
Yes.
It needs. Otherwise, it's boring. You can eat
Exhausting.
and drink, and it's lost, flat.
Yeah.
Nobody likes this kind of wines.
No.
But I think that the biggest difference is that they're highly infected by botrytis. This is clearly in the nose. The Auslese, the German ones, or Spätleses, they have also botrytis, but it's not dominated by these flavors. And they are strong. These wines are, even it's a Trockenbeeren Auslese with more than 400 gram residual sugar coming along, which it even says 7.5 alcohol. So the Austrian sweet wines are sweet, higher in alcohol, lower in acidity.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are in between somehow. It's not Southern style, but it's of course it's easy to compare. Somehow it's going the way of Tokai.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Okay.
Of course, Burgenland, the region where Gerhard Kracher or Illmitz is located, it's the youngest state we have in Austria. It joined Austria only by 1921. Before that, it used to be Deutsch Westungarn, so it belonged usually to Hungary.
Okay, so yeah, all right.
So they always have been very close. Like we have Illmitz, but on the other side of the Neusiedler See, you have Rust. Rust, which one is also famous for sweet wines. Rust and Tokai used to be the most famous cities in the Austrian Hungarian Empire for sweet wines, and even the most expensive on the same price level as Chateau Yquem or whatever. Ruster Ausbruch and Tokai. If you go for Tokai Sepsi wines, this is
yeah, this is what I was going to say. So, okay. And now if we take it to the kind of, we always, within dVIN and Club dVIN, we're always talking about rare, collectible, investment grade wines. Obviously, this is a very rare, any Trockenbeeren Auslese is a rare wine because you just can't make a lot of it. It's a kind of berry selection that is like so much work. You have basically every single grape is selected based on whether or not it's been affected by botrytis. So it's rare and you don't get a lot out of it. But in terms of investment grade, you mentioned Sauternes. So we're talking about a sweet wine that you're comparing to Sauternes or Tokai.
I think if you really speak about investing in Austrian wines, there are very little Austrian wines that will give you a return of investment. You can find wines that are really perfect for aging, but there are little wines that are collectible and they can be used as an investment tool. One of these wines, for example, will be Unendlich. Unendlich.
Never ending.
Never ending. Yeah, it's the name of the wine. It's from Wachau Valley and it's FX Bichler, which one is one of the most famous producers. Riesling Unendlich. This is one thing would say, if you can buy this wine, if you're able to find it on the market, and then you store it for 10 years, I think normally it will double the price. Normally, depending on the vintage, but it's only produced in the best vintages. Other wines, the aged Grüner Veltliner or wines like this, of course, they will improve or increase in price. But as an investment, they're very little wines. Perhaps the most outstanding South Styrian Sauvignon Blancs or Chardonnays.
Yeah.
Like Dement.
Dement, yeah.
Dement, yeah.
Dement Sirek, or what's the?
Sirek, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, there's no secret, you know that, and perhaps all the people joining us will know. If you invest in wine, or it doesn't matter, whatever you invest in, is it art, are I don't know, stamps or whatever you collect, or baseball cards, whatever. The best investment is always just invest in one thing 100%, then in 100 things 1%. Go for the best.
I actually think that your best investment quote was before we went live, Gerhard. When did you?
Yeah, the Austrians say you can always invest in wine. At least you get 10 or 12%, depending on the wine, on your investment. And somehow it's true. If you invest in stocks, whatever it is. If you have bad luck and there's a crash, okay, what do? You make a little fire with your stocks. Okay, wonderful. It takes 3 minutes to keep you warm.
Yeah.
A cellar full of good wines. You can even invite your friends and having an outstanding, fantastic party and say, okay, we are completely broke, but we are drunken. Wonderful.
Hell yeah. I like that attitude. Not investment advice. No.
No, of course not. At the end of the day, you should have Austrian wines within your cellar for drinking, for enjoying, for investing. Well, I don't know if I can bring 2 hands of wine where I say invest in that.
Yeah. Okay. All
But
right.
for blind tastings, surprising your friends to show them, I know what's going on in wine world, even in Austria.
Yeah.
A little country that doesn't has any kangaroos. This is the thing Austria can. Yeah. If you go to New York, for example, we have a very famous. You met Aldo, and you
Yeah,
had a
sure.
wonderful time making all this Austrian or German. What was it? Austrian? Or
We did
TV?
an Austrian documentary. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's on ORF.
OF, yes. And well, even Aldo says, okay, we have he says on the Bernadette restaurant, he's having one of the biggest Austrian wine lists in the States, I would say.
Yeah.
But he also knows that these wines can easily compare with Burgundy or whatever you have to name. But if you invite your business partners wherever, it's the same with, for example, what are you going to offer them? An Austrian or a German sect, or you offer them champagne? If you laugh if you have your anniversary, and your husband is saying, "Oh, darling, will you have a glass of sect?"
Hey, Sekt sells. So
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, there's something to it for sure. But I think on the other side of that, it's like if you want to bring something cool or interesting to a dinner party or a party, and you like, that's exactly what this is. I mean, you want to be the one, or at least I know that we are both the one. Anyone who's in wine is the one in the friend circle who people ask when they're, ordering something at a restaurant or whatever, or when they're going to a dinner party or a wedding and they want to bring a bottle of wine. You're the one they ask. So it's cool to be able to show people different things. And the Montrachet Grüner thing is a fun party trick.
I always bring the Montrachet from Conti. It's so boring,
Bring the Grüner. Bring the Smaragd.
Bring the Grüner. And I have a little collection of grapes, perhaps people never heard before. This is the Neuburger. Neuburger it's something that's in between Pinot Blanc and Chardonnay. Neuburger.
In between, as in it's a cross?
No, it's not a cross. It's an own grape. Nobody knows exactly where it comes from. It widely, you have 150 hectares of this grape planted all over Austria. But it's a fantastic, good wine. It's more complex than a Pinot Blanc or Weißburgunder. It's not so heavy like a Grauburgunder.
Okay.
But it is something, and this is one of the best producers, Mandlerhof, homage, because it's homage to his grandfather, because he loved this grape and planted it already in the 50s. So Neuburger is something to discover. Another grape you should perhaps, if you're more into red, you should go, of course, we have Blaufränkisch, but I think one of the best grapes for Austrian red wine is St. Laurent. St. Laurent is very close to Pinot Noir, a bit more complex, more powerful, spiciness coming along with that. A Pinot Noir with little hints of Shiraz, I would say.
Ooh, that
very
sounds
interesting. Very St. Laurent, but you also find a little bit St. Laurent in Paladina region here in Germany. But the home of St. Laurent, of course, is Austria.
Is there also St. Laurent in like Bolzano?
Yes, possibly, yes. Okay. Bolzano is Südtirol, used to be Austria. No?
Yeah, that's what I know.
Okay, we don't speak about the Austrian.
Alaska used to be Canada, Gerhard. We're not going to fight about it.
Did you know that Mexico, it's not a joke, and it's not from Trump. It is true. Mexico belonged to Austria.
What?
Really, the Austrian-Hungarian Empire used to be the Empire of Mexico also.
Stop.
No, it is really, believe it, because the Austrians, the Habsburg, were the kings of Spain, and Spain was of course, owned Mexico.
Wait a minute. I used to live in Tijuana. I didn't know this.
Yeah, we have a big topic with the Mexican state nowadays, because the crown of Montezumolo, which used to be the Maya king, is still in Vienna in a museum, and the Mexican guys asking for, hey, bring it back, guys. It's our crown. It's not yours.
No way. My sister-in-law is Mexican. She's from Ensenada. I wonder if she knows this. She's very.
Ask her. Really.
Okay.
Let's go ahead. Have another grape. Perhaps you know it from Dokai. Furmint. Also, of course, you find the Furmint in Austria. And the last one I'm going before we start. This is one of my favorite grapes.
Welschriesling.
Yes.
Habe ich auch hier. I've got one too.
Welschriesling? Yes, wonderful. The Welschriesling is the Riesling Italico. It used to be very easy drinking, let me say, very simple wine, rustic. But nowadays, the young generation of winemakers, they figured out that it's something that you only can find in Middle Europe, and most of them of course, in Austria. And it's a grape, which one we call a Klimagewinner, means the climate change infected this grape perfectly. So it's no longer greenish and harsh. It's perfectly ripeness, keeps the acidity, and it's vibrant. And even the young generation realized, okay, if we lower yields and give it a chance to age, means the wine to age, not
us aging.
No. But it's interesting what kind of wines. If you have it in blind tasting, you very often with the Welschriesling, you will go to say, let me say, it's Jura.
I love the wines from Jura.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But as I mentioned before, there are a lot of things to discover, but production is very limited. And what do, if we speak about Austria, honestly, how much do we know about Georgia?
The cradle of wine.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Tattoo in Georgia.
Yeah, I saw this. Wonderful story. Anyway, but what I would like to say is, it's fantastic. Or even we can speak about Switzerland. Switzerland also has fantastic things to discover. Outstanding world-class wines.
Yeah.
The limited production, how much is it? 600 bottles? So what happened to the 600 bottles? 99% of them are drunken within Switzerland.
They don't get out of the country.
So a market, to create a market, you need to have a minimum amount of bottles. As you said before, Trockenbeerenausle, wonderful, but Egon Müller perhaps is something we have to highlight, but how many bottles of Trockenbeerenausle is he doing a year? 36, 38? Okay, costs 10,000 euro a bottle, but anyway.
Yeah, ultra rare, impossible to get wines, right? Yeah, right. I mean, but look, back to, which one is this? Is this the
Blaufränkisch Wachter Wiesler, and it's from Eisenberg. Eisenberg,
yeah.
Yeah, Südburgenland, south of Burgenland, the corner of Austria, southeast, means in east the border is Hungary, in south the border is Slovenia.
Yeah.
And Eisenberg is a real crew, I would say, for Blaufränkisch, because it's doing Blaufränkisch. This is very delicate, clear, precise. Tannins are fine. Spiciness.
Sorry, carry on. Keep going. Tell us what it tastes like. No, I need to know. What is the profile of Blaufränkisch like typically?
This is a huge change in Austrian red wine making, which one started 10 years ago, I would say, or perhaps 10 to 12 years ago. The Austrian red wines in the times, let me say, from in the 90s, was to get as close as possible to Bordeaux style.
Yeah.
So Blaufränkisch in a cuvée with Merlot, Cabernet, heavy oak, toasting, boom, 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 power, about 14.5, and that's our power. We can do that also. And then it changed a little bit and say, what am I? No, Bordeaux is Bordeaux. We are not Bordeaux. We are not able to compete. We are not. It doesn't make sense to be a copy of whatever you are.
Yourself.
And nowadays, it's going in another direction. I won't say they're going to the direction of Burgundy, but it's much more Burgundy style Blaufränkisch on the market than this heavy. Means it's delicate, free, spiciness coming along with it. Blaufränkisch has always a little bit of, like I say, blueberry coming along in the nose, spices like, black pepper, or you will find it's little licorice also. Cherry.
Okay.
And I don't know, some of the styles you can a little bit go also the way of Great Barolo style. Depends how long they had it with steams or in the vats.
So that sounds more. I mean, what I struggle with kind of that description is I'm thinking about first the wines were, they wanted to be like Bordeaux. So in Bordeaux, you have this big, powerful wines. But the grapes in Bordeaux, so if you've got, Cab Franc, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, these are like big red grapes. Now, very difficult to compare those to a Pinot Noir. So if you're talking about like a Burgundian style, what does the actual cluster of grapes look like? What is Blaufränkisch characteristically like as an actual like bunch of grapes?
It is. It's a very big grape, but it depends what kind of Blaufränkisch clones you have.
Yeah.
Big berries, small berries, stick skins, smaller ones. So this is what's changed completely. Say, okay, we're going for the fine selection. The selection of wine or what clones we use is more going the direction. Okay, fine, elegant tannins, no longer this heavy, fat, deep, dark, even black fruit.
Yeah. Interesting.
It is. It's a lot about in a blind tasting to figure out it's a Blaufränkisch. If you can't decide if it is neither Bordeaux, neither Burgundy, none Barbera or even Barolo, the chance it's a Blaufränkisch is very high.
I will tell you, when I was doing my blind tastings, the big exam for diploma, when you have like, I don't even remember, like 12 flights, I think. And I was like, please don't give me an Austrian flight because it's like, it's very challenging. But anyway, I mean, there's a ton to discover. And I think, I don't know how many wines you've opened today. I've got 3 on the go.
No more than 6 bottles. I'm on my own.
Thanks, Cornelia. So, okay. Blaufränkisch is having a moment, and I just want to like close on this.
It is. Even it scores high with Barker. We had to also, I think the highest score the Austrian Blaufränkisch got was 98 Barker. Cool. What is not bad.
Yeah.
It's Dorley Moore. You know Dorley Moore?
Of course I know Dorley.
Yeah, of course.
In Carnotto.
Dorley's wine is the highest rated Austrian red wine ever.
She's so fucking cool.
Spitzerberg Blaufränkisch.
So fucking cool. And she has an awesome communications company, but she's just a rock star, like such a trailblazer. She's a really great winemaker. I'm a fangirl. Dorley's awesome.
I'm not a girl, but a fan.
It's okay to say you're a fangirl. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's okay. For Dorley, okay. All right. I feel like to close it off, let me think. What do we need to? So we kind of talked about where Austria stands from like an investment grade perspective, that it's not really, it's more of a, from what I think to summarize, it's more of a collectible, age-worthy assortment to put in your cellar. On the secondary market, not a lot of movement yet. Maybe once everybody gets onto the Montrachet.
No, but well, You should keep Austria in your cellar, of course, for the surprises
Yes.
you're able to find.
Just
And
want to
also
drink
the food matching with Austrian wine is, to me, it's fantastic, outstanding. Investing in Austrian wines, yes, do, but invest for having it with your best friends, not for resale.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. I just so one of my favorite restaurants in Dusseldorf is Bar Olio. Anyone who knows Dusseldorf and Bar Olio, have you been to Bar Olio,
Yes,
Gerhard?
of course.
And the wine list is phenomenal,
It's
and
outstanding. I love it.
yeah, and they've got some really great Austrian wines on the list. And I always order Austrian wine when I go there. So I've been there like 3 times in the last week and a half, I think. But I had the Blaue Labella from Chepe.
Oh, huge. Yeah, we speak about, sustainability and biodynamic growing. In Austria is all over the country. 40% of wine growers are certified. It is the highest rate all over the world.
Really?
It is. And even if you mentioned Blaue Libelle and all this, let me say, these natural wines.
Yeah.
We are
Cheetah?
Cheetah, yeah, we are really huge in this kind of wines.
Yeah.
Really, like Verlich or Muster, or whatever you're gonna name. And if you're in this kind of wine world, you have no chance to pass Austria.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Man, we should have talked more about that. Now we're like coming up to time. Oh my God, that's the next chapter.
It is. So
I actually I when I was traveling through Austria, oh my God, we interviewed Christian Cheetah and together with Aldo, and oh my God, the crew scared the shit out of me. They were like, he's gonna make you cry. And I was back then, like, I don't know, it's years ago. I'm way like sassier now, and like I know a lot more, obviously. You learn so much every year, but in wine, you're always learning. And so I was like this intimidated, I feel like if compared to myself now, I was this intimidated little girl. And everyone was like, Christian Cheetah, he's like the rock star of natural wine. And he's gonna like, if you ask him a stupid question, da, 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 da. And I was like so nervous. And I got there and he's like the nicest guy.
he's a charming, like I say, a cozy bear.
Yeah, he's just
really,
he
is.
He's a cozy bear. Anyway.
He is, yes.
Of
course.
Never forget that.
If you come and enter a door with bright eyes, smiling, they will smile to you also. If you enter a door and say, "Hey, come on, pour me your best wine," perhaps they will.
Yeah, I don't know about that attitude. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, okay. So shout out to Austria and all of the incredible wines. I mean, we named a few producers today. Do you want to show the bottles that you were tasting one more time? Because there's some bangers in there. Hello.
Kracha, for sure.
Kracha. Ilmitz.
Yes. Okay.
Emmerich Knoll. Emmy.
Perhaps he's going one wine you should invest in is the Vinothekfüllung.
Vinothekfüllung.
It's a Grüner Veltliner or a Riesling. And it's Vinothekfüllung is his, let me say, special selection or his best vat of the year.
Okay. Cool. That's a good tip.
This is a wine you can easily store 50 years. And I would always invest in Magnum bottles.
You heard it from Gerhard Retter. All right.
Okay, the St. Laurent.
Yes.
St. Laurent from Auer in Derman region. Derman region is 30 miles south of Vienna.
Yeah, that one I'm gonna have to try. You got me when you said it's like a Pinot Noir.
It is
versus Syrah or meets Syrah.
Okay. And of course the Blaufränkisch from Wachterwiesler Südburgenland, or nowadays we call it Eisenberg, which used to be the old name, and so they changed it from Südburgenland to Eisenberg again. Well, that's it. And for mint, not to forget. For mint from Nittenhaus produces, which one is in Goals by the lake.
Awesome. Okay.
More to go. That's it. We're done. Huh? Welsh for you.
I've got a Welsh.
You know, this is a kind of natural wine or low intervention, as they say.
Yeah.
It's not natural. They say it's low intervention.
There's a lot of terms that confuse people.
Yeah.
What does
There's only one term is important. You like it or you don't like it. All the
Yeah.
other things, okay, you can discuss the whole day. At the end of the day, the bottle is empty or not empty. Decision is made. Done.
Yeah, that's actually that is decision made. I've got also we didn't talk a lot about sparkling, but I have a Schloss Gobelsberg Blanc de Blanc, which I am not allowed to open until, and I may never open it because I'm not allowed to open it until
No,
the
the permission is given to you now.
no, that is one thing that you cannot grant. So I have like a lot of wines in my cellar have milestones on them.
Mm.
So the milestone for me to open that wine, because I got it during the filming with Aldo, is the show has to come out in English because we filmed it in English and German.
Mhm.
And for now, ORF has exclusivity. So there's no opening that wine
Okay,
until
I'm going to call the ORF immediately.
we just talk to them and be like,
Yeah,
I need to open this bottle. So can you just push the show in English? Thanks. That'd be great. Appreciate it. And then I've got from Christoph Neumeister in Steiermark.
yes.
I
One of
have
my most beloved producers. I love him so much. I love his wines. One of the nicest person you meet in wine world, I can tell you. And his Weissburgunder is fantastic, and his Sauvignon Blanc or Chardonnay is Morillon. Huge, with the best of the world, of course.
Yes, I actually I visited him, and then I think that it worked. I hope that I helped him get into the Canadian market. So he sent me a nice box of wine. I think it must have worked out. So if you guys are watching from Canada, in Nova Scotia, probably particularly, go and look for Christoph Neumeister. This is a plug. Okay. So fantastic wines. I've got lots to work through now tonight with my husband. Whether or not we go to the gym today is yet to.
No, not nowadays. Stay at home and take care about wines.
Take care of the wines. My mom's like, "Are you ever gonna have kids?" I'm taking care of the wines, Mom. It's fine. Shout out to Mom if you're watching. Hi. Okay, Gerhard, this has been so great. Before we wrap, I always ramble at the beginning. Can you please give us a little, like, what are you working on now? So Gerhard has won about every award that it's possible to win as a sommelier. I mean, we're talking like absolute top prestige. You're going to be in Dusseldorf for Rolling Pin. I'm excited to see you there.
Wonderful.
What are you working on right now?
We have a project here in Munich, which one is a huge project. This is a restaurant, or which would be a fine dining restaurant, a vinotheque, a bistro. In Munich, we used to have the beer garden, but what we are going to open is a wine garden. Means it's a Heuriger.
A Heuriger!
Yeah, in Munich. Yeah. And well, this will it takes me at least 2 more years to fix everything because a very complicated but very outstanding location. It's the only island Munich has. Yeah, no, of course, Munich is not by the lake or by the sea, but it has a river, the river Isar. And in the Isar River, there's one island. And on this island, we're going to open our restaurant. But it's it's tricky to get any permission you need, but we keep going. Even the wine cellar is there already, the restaurant is furnished, but we're still waiting the permission. But it's complicated. Anyway, that's what I'm doing here in Munich, but I'm working for the Austrian Wine Marketing Board. I'm doing consulting for Lufthansa. I'm doing consulting for Miele and other companies, and I'm taking care about my wife.
Good. And you have a lot of really interesting international experience. I mean, where have you worked? I mean, you've done Cordoba. I think you put Berlin on the wine bar scene.
Hopefully. Well, okay. I think one of the most exciting experience was with Gordon Ramsay.
Okay, yeah. Pretty cool.
But then Freddy Girardet, no, it's not so well known, Freddy Girardet, or not so widely known, but it used to be one of the best chefs of the world in Switzerland, in Lausanne.
Okay.
Yeah, this was very unique experience. 3-star Michelin, of course. Adlon, the Berlin, before we opened the Cordoba wine bar. I also had some good times in Erbusco. This is in Italy, in close to Milano. There was a restaurant called Galadera Marchesi, and they used to work for this guy also. Wonderful. And of course, I've been to Austria, close to Vienna, and some of the strange things and decisions you made because you need the money.
I mean, look, it sounds like the wine business has kind of taken you all over the place, and everywhere you've gone, it seems to turn to gold. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you on and kind of walk us through some pretty interesting producers and grapes, especially Neuburger. I've got to try Neuburger.
Neuburger, yes,
I've
wonderful.
got to
Yeah.
try. Yeah.
So more
Okay.
to come. Next time we meet in Düsseldorf, I'm gonna bring you the Rotgipfel and the Zierfandler.
At the end of this month. Exactly. We have a date. Gerhard, thank you so much for joining us today. I know for just to respect everybody's time, I am going to do a little wrap up because you guys don't want to miss any of our members who are watching this. You know that Wine Wednesdays come one day before our weekly wine drops. So tomorrow, I'm just going to do the shameless plug. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern is our next members only drop. We have secured a tiny allocation of one of the global pinnacles of Pinot Noir. We've got Romanée Saint Vivant from 2014.
I take it.
Yeah, one for Gerhard. And this is from Latour. So this is a tiny Grand Cru with less than, I think, a dozen producers. And so allocations like this don't really come around very often. We've got 23 bottle lots, direct from the winery as always. So it's always about perfect provenance and transparency. And again, this is for members only. So if you are not yet a member of Club dVIN, you can head over to clubdvin.com and apply. We do have a few spots open for membership right now via application. I am the one reviewing the applications, so write me a nice little note and bribe me with some wine and you're in. Just kidding, kind of. Stay tuned. Also, later this month, we've got some big drops coming up. We've got Chateau Pichon-Lalande, Cheval Blanc. We've got some big names, and we have changed our Wine Wednesday format. So for the next two drops coming up, we are going to actually have the Chateau come on to our Wine Wednesday as guests. So we've either got winemakers or some rep from the Chateau is going to be coming on and talking about the drop that's happening the following day. So if you want to kind of get behind the label and get into a deep kind of Q&A with the winemaker, then you're going to be able to do that. The first 30 minutes of the live stream will be for the public, and then we'll cut the live stream, and all of our members will be invited to a private Q&A with the winemaker. So we are going to be starting that coming up later this month. And that is, that's it. Head over to clubdvin.com again if you're interested in membership. And obviously, you guys all have to go and check out Austrian wines. If you don't have any Austrian wine in your cellar at home, because these are the ones you want to be taking to the parties, go and get them.
We'll check who joined us, and then we come to check your cellars.
Exactly. We will be doing home check-ins. So knocking on the door with a glass, and it will be empty. Usually I come bearing wine, but this time we're actually, it's a
wonderful. Jana, thank you for having me. Huge. We could talk about 3 more hours.
I know.
Course.
It's
so
true.
We have to do this again.
Thank you so much, Gerhard, for giving us your time. And I look forward to seeing you at the end of the month.
I'm so happy. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining.